Why aren't you getting paid to play basketball? Wasn't that your goal when you were little? You dreamed of becoming a professional basketball player? What happened? What is the story that you tell yourself whenever you think back on that dream and why it didn't happen? For many of us, it feels like we weren't good enough. Like that's the reason we didn't get picked. But there's a bigger reason. In fact, I would say this is the main reason. This is the number one reason players who have the dream of playing professional basketball don't make it. The reason is capacity. There's literally not enough space on the stage for all the performers who want to get on it. Think about it. In the what we might call the most popular basketball leagues, there are only a certain number of teams, and each team only has a certain number of roster spots. And once all of those roster spots are filled, it really doesn't matter how good the other players are. There's just no room for them. And so, of course, if you have only 1% making it, you've got to know that in that 99%, there are players who are just as good or better than the players who got picked. And so, can you see how capacity is the number one reason that players don't make it? And then just imagine, what if there were 10 times as many teams? Now they would need 10 times as many players. So did those other players suddenly get good enough? No, there's just a need for them now. So capacity is the problem. Rimpage solves that problem. We have unlimited capacity. There's no limit to the number of players who can be Rimpage athletes. In fact, we want all players to join Rimpage because we want to know who is the best. Rimpage gives every player a new path to becoming a professional athlete. So it's a new stage for a new age in basketball. And it's a new day because there's a new way to become a professional basketball player. I feel like that was my assignment. I feel like I was born to create Rimpage to solve this problem because the problem has gotten worse now because basketball has gotten so popular all over the world. Now there are even more players who dream of getting on the big stage, but the stage isn't big. Imagine a truly big stage, a worldwide stage, where every player in every city can compete. That's a big stage. So all of these players now have access to a new path to becoming a paid basketball player. I want to talk about that path. The first step to becoming a professional basketball player on the new path is to join Rimpage. We have the steps, we have the process, we have the structure. This league was designed so that players can get paid. So that's the first stage, join Rimpage. You can't win until you're in. So you got to get in it to win it. Next step, you have to become worthy of an audience. Could you gain at least one fan? Could you gain 10,000 fans? When you picture that, when you picture yourself with 10,000 fans or a million fans all over the world, that might make you feel a little bit uneasy inside, like there's no way I could possibly be worthy. But couldn't you? With enough practice, couldn't you become good enough for a fan to want to follow you? If you're going to grow a fan base, then you need to do these three things. First, you need to entertain. So you have to develop your skill, develop your style of play, and perfect it. Be able to do amazing things on the court that make people want to see you play. The next thing is inspire. Find your greatness. And the way you find your greatness is you have to solve your biggest problems. You have to face them, you have to own them, and you have to solve them. And when you do that, share it. And that inspires other people. When you find the greatness within yourself, and maybe your problem is you don't see yourself as the type of person who could be great. That's a problem. Find the solution to it, solve it. And then after you solve that problem, can you imagine how many other people you can inspire now? Because you've walked the path. You can tell them, there was a time when I didn't think I could be great, but I solved that problem. And this is how you can do it too. We love that. Fans love that. So face your biggest problems, own your biggest problems, solve your biggest problems. And that's how you inspire people. Find the greatness within yourself and you inspire others to find the greatness within themselves. And then the last thing is give them something to believe in. And the way you do that is by winning the big games. It's by showing up in the big moments consistently. Once you slay the giants over and over and over again, once you show up in these big moments over and over and over again, something happens in the hearts of the fans who watch you. They start to believe in you. My story of that is Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and the Chicago Bulls. We watched them. We started watching them before they won all the championships. My mom was really into basketball, and so she got us watching it. And she said, "There's something special about this Jordan guy." And she said that before he became a superstar. So we watched him lose to the Detroit Pistons again and again and again. I think 4 years in a row, the Pistons kicked him out of the playoffs. Finally, that fifth year, they swept the Pistons and they went on to the championship and they beat the Lakers in that championship. And then they won another championship. And then they won another championship. And the Bulls just kept winning until it's like every time there was a big challenge in front of them, because the media was always putting some big challenge in front of them, they overcame that challenge. And pretty soon it seemed like they could, like, there's no one they couldn't beat. There was no challenge they couldn't overcome. And I can tell you as a fan, I began to believe in them. Give fans something to believe in. You do that by winning consistently. It's pretty hard to get anywhere in sports if you're not a winner. So, like I said at first, develop your style. That style has to be a winning style. You can do a lot of tricks, you can do a lot of amazing things, but if it doesn't amount to a win, you're a clown. That's a great way to think through becoming the type of player who can attract fans, who can grow a fan base, entertain them, inspire them, give them something to believe in. So that's the whole development style. That turns you into the type of player who's worthy of an audience. So now that you're that player, now it's time to get noticed. So for get noticed, I'm going to give you 3 things. The first one is share it. Be open up, let people in. Let people know your story. Let them know what your goals are. It's my goal to become the best player in my city. It's my goal to win the national championship. It's my goal to be the best player in the world. Share your story, share your goals, and then share your victories and your defeats. Aren't you interested in your favorite player's victories and defeats? Aren't you interested when your favorite player shares these things? So be that player. Open up, let them in, let your fans in, and share these things. The next one is show it. Play on a stage where you can get seen. Play where you can get noticed. Because if you play somewhere where you're not getting noticed, you're wasting your time. You're invisible. You could be the best player in the world. Think about this. You could be the best player in the world, but would it matter if no one knows who you are? Money flows where attention grows. If you can grow the attention, if you can grow the number of eyeballs that are watching you, it's only a matter of time before money starts to flow to you. In other words, so you've turned yourself into this player who's worthy of an audience. Now, as you grow that audience, it's only a matter of time before companies are going to start approaching you. You're a winner. They want to be associated with the winner. So they're going to come to you and say, "Hey, will you advertise our product? Will you endorse our product? Will you wear our shirt? Will you wear our shoes?" They're going to approach you with these offers. Or they may want influence. They want your influence. They want you to tell your fan base that this is the best product. This is the best soda out there. This is the best car out there. Or they may want to reach your audience and they're willing to pay you to reach your audience. So share it. Show it. And then the last one is kind of interesting. And there's a reason I saved this one for last. Because this one is going to be a little bit fun, but it might also be a little bit challenging for you. So think about this. It's called shape it. Shape it. If you are the kind of player who might be a little bit reserved, a little bit shy, maybe an introvert, and you can't really see yourself being outgoing, kind of like a movie star, extroverted and engaging with all these people, try this. Try this. You know how Superman has an alter ego. His alter ego is Clark Kent. And Clark Kent is not very impressive. He's kind of clumsy, but it's all a masquerade. It's all a disguise. And he wears these glasses and he's kind of shy. He's not the hero at all. He's the total opposite of Superman. But then when the time comes, when trouble comes, he does this thing where he pulls his shirt and rips it open and then Superman comes out. Create a Superman for yourself. Create a character. Create a superhero-like character who is awesome at game time. When the match starts, this character comes out, you change into this Superman or whoever your character is, and that's the fun part. You get to make up this character. Maybe he's fearless. Maybe he has this unshakable confidence. Maybe he's resilient. Like you can knock him down 10 times and he'll get back up 11. Whatever. You decide who this character is. But whoever he is, he's greater than you, stronger than you, more capable than you, and he always wins. He always gets the job done. And then you have this ritual where you turn into that character. For Clark Kent, it's when he pulls the shirt open. He-Man, if you're familiar with He-Man, he's this weak prince, but then he turns into He-Man. And his ritual is when he pulls that sword out of his holster and he raises the sword and he says, I have the power. And then he turns into He-Man and now he's ready for action. Your thing might be when you lace up your shoes. So when you tie your shoes, that's your trigger. That's you turning into that character. And once you tie those shoes, it's game on. You're that person. Or maybe it's a 5-second countdown. 5, 4, 3. Take a deep breath. Count down 5, 3, 2, 1, and you snap into that character. That way, you can be this person, and it's kind of fun. You can allow yourself to be someone who you're actually not when you're off the court. Kobe Bryant actually had something like that. He created Mamba mentality for that because he wanted to separate the Kobe Bryant who has to deal with everyday life, the bills, the family, all the stuff we deal with the player who needs to perform for his team and for his fans on the court. So he created the alter ego. A lot of people have done this, but here's the interesting thing is you actually become that person. So it's not a fake. You actually become that person who is able to perform, who's able to get the job done. So show it, share it, shape your character, create that ritual, and once you do that thing, once you pull the shirt open, tie the shoes, count down to 5, it's game on. It's time. Okay, so let's say you're doing all those things now. You've joined Rimpage, you've become the type of player who's worthy of an audience, and you're actually playing on the stage where you can get noticed. The last thing is getting paid. It's only a matter of time before companies are going to start to approach you. Or there are different things that you can do to monetize your audience. Maybe you can create a jersey and say, this is the jersey I'm going to wear whenever I play a big match, and put that jersey up for sale. Your fans will buy it. You can come up with all sorts of offers for your fans to thank them for their support. But all of that is money coming in the bank for you. So that's your path to becoming a professional basketball player. So now it's time. Now it's time for me to ask this of you. You've been with me this long. You've watched this video. You know that you want to be a professional basketball player. You feel that you can become that player, but you need a stage. You need the structure. You need the context. You need the championship tournament that makes that shot matter. Like you can hit a three-pointer on the court by yourself practicing, but when you hit that three-pointer in a championship match in a tournament, it means so much more. That's what Rimpage gives you. It's that context, that meaning that makes that matter, makes that moment magical. So I'm going to ask you, join Rimpage. Get on this new path to becoming a professional basketball player where 100% of players have a chance to do it. You can make it. This is your shot. But not only that, I don't only want you to join Rimpage. Tell your friends about Rimpage. They have the same goals. Surely you know at least 1 or 2 people who want to be a professional basketball player. Tell your friends about Rimpage. And then tell your friends to tell their friends about Rimpage. Here's why I'm doing this. Because we need this. Players need this. Why do we need this? Because with the current system, less than 1% are making it to the pros. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with those odds? That's 0.03% of players are making it into the pros with this current system, with what I call old basketball. We need a new way. And so I want every player to join Rimpage because this is for you. This is your shot. This is your path to becoming a pro. You can become a world famous basketball player. The dream is not over. You can do it. So let's all bring our talent to Rimpage. Let's blow up this platform, understanding this. The players have the power. The players have the power. Here's what I mean by that. At the stage, whatever that stage is, if it's the court at your park or rec center, if it's the court at LA Fitness, if it's the court in an NBA arena, if it's the court or if it's a Rimpage match, all of these are stages. The players rule the stage. Here's why. Because the fans come to see the players. If there were no players there, there would be no fans. And the money follows the fans. So the money follows the fans, but the fans are following the players. So what that means is wherever the players go, that's where the fans are going to go, and that's where the money's going to go. So you can blow up Rimpage. Just imagine if 1 million players tomorrow, 1 million players went to Rimpage's website and signed up. Suddenly, there are 1 million athletes competing on Rimpage. And imagine if all of those athletes had 100 fans. That's 100 million. That's a huge audience. It's only a matter of time before the businesses come and start paying their advertising dollars to reach that audience of 100 million. And that money is what we will use to pay you. You see how that works? So it starts with you. Please join Rimpage. This was created for you so that you have a path to live your dreams. Tell your friends to join Rimpage. Tell your friends' friends to join Rimpage. And let's blow up this platform. Let's start this revolution. Let's do something powerful, something amazing that we can only do together. We can only get there together. Rimpage is the vehicle that's going to take us there. But it's going to take all of us acting together to make this revolution something that the world will talk about for years to come. Thank you.